Hello beautiful people and welcome to the vlog. I am so excited for this weekly vlog because we are coming up to Valentine's Day and I need my girls, I need my people, and so today we are going to be going through some romance books, or I guess not today, this week we're going to be reading some romance books, which I am super excited for. On the list that I have that I would like to get through this week, I want to get through the 7-Year Slip. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but a bird just flew into my car. Oh god, okay. I really want to get through the 7-Year Slip. I read The Dead Romantics and it was like an average read for me, but I've heard really good things, specifically about the man that lives in the apartment and bakes lemon things. So I love lemon, so I'm excited for that one. And then I'd also love to get my hands on Bride by Hazelwood because that just came out, because it's February 9th today. We are getting close to Valentine's Day. I'm ready, and the book released on February 5th. I've also heard amazing things about Bride, and I feel as though it'll kind of keep me in that romance, but also if I want like a little bit of a fantastical element, it'll keep me like on track for this vlog. This week we got some romance going on, so I have a library hold for the audiobook, so I'm gonna listen to that while I head out to campus, I believe. So I'm gonna go because I'm so cold. My car is like, this is frost on the windows. I don't have any heat on, so I'm gonna leave you guys and I'll see you in a bit. We have editing Ellie popping in here, and I just want to let you guys know that there are going to be spoilers. I have put warnings on the screen when anything huge comes up, but there will be spoilers, so proceed with caution, please. Alrighty, beautiful people, it is a few hours later. It is now 3:24, and I talked to you guys in the morning at like 8:30ish. I am having a good time with the 7-Year Slip. I am, but I have fear, but I have feared that I have called the twist, and I only think that I won't get into any spoilers right now, but I only think that I've called the twist because I had seen one of the special editions for this book and kind of heard some general like synopsis-y things of what it's about. And so I fear that I know how this interaction between the characters is gonna work post-book, if that makes any sense. But I'm still having fun. I'm only like 45 minutes into listening to the audiobook, so I'm not crazy far in or anything like that. So there's definitely like lots of time for development, and I'm still like really excited to see where the characters go. I just think that I've kind of called one of the reveals, but I'm having fun listening to our main character, and I love the description of like one of her best friends. Like it was just like, I think it said like she had periwinkle hair, I think it was, and I love the word and the color periwinkle. Like I just think that that's like, it's just like a whimsical, I don't know, it's weird, but I love that color and I think the words are kind of fun. But now I'm gonna drive home, I'm gonna listen to some more, and I'm gonna get warm because I feel like today has just been like the theme of me sitting in my car and being cold. Like I just spent the last like 3 hours outside like measuring trees for one of my courses, and so I'm so cold. Hello beautiful people and happy Sunday. Today I am gonna go grab some ice cream. I just feel like tonight I want to get cozy with Bride by Hazelwood and just eat some ice cream and have a good time. So little reading update. Hopefully the washing machine in the background isn't too distracting for you guys. Lulu's about to hit our bell. Yeah, okay. Slight chaos, but I am absolutely in love. Problem solved. I am absolutely in love with Bride by Hazelwood. Oh my goodness. I started it last night and I am obsessed. I literally read 34%. Like I picked this book up and I could not put it down. It was recommended by a bajillion people, but specifically a Happy Hermit was like, to all my Fae girlies, like who love SJM, like give this a go, because I never read anything in the Omegaverse and I am having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. So I'm 34% of the way into that, and for the 7-Year Slip I am I think 33% of the way into that audiobook. I'm reading Bride on my Kindle and audiobook for 7-Year Slip, and they just kissed and then I like stopped because I was like, I need to go grab ice cream. So I don't know, like 33%, that seems like a bit early. Like I'm definitely more used to like a slower burn in recent situations, but I'm having fun and I'm excited to see where both of these stories go. So you're gonna come with me to go get some ice cream and it's gonna be a great time. Okay, so that took an embarrassingly long time to pick, but I ended up going with chocolate Haagen-Dazs, and then I also got raspberry dairy-free like lime sherbet. Both of these I absolutely love. And typically I get like Ben & Jerry's cookie dough, but I haven't had that a lot recently, but I've definitely been getting it more recently, so I wanted to kind of switch it up. And also I really just was craving like raspberries and chocolate, but raspberry and chocolate's my favorite, so I'm thinking that I might do something bold and like have both of them at the same time. All right, we've had a wardrobe change and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with these because I hate putting ice cream in a glass because it gets all melty and I don't like melty ice cream. So the Super Bowl is about to start, which is pretty fun and exciting. There is no one that is watching the Super Bowl with me, but I was like, I'll get ice cream. It'll be like a fun time. I'll have the Super Bowl and I'll read and it'll be great. So I don't even know if this is gonna taste good, but I had a vision and I am nothing if not gonna test my vision. Okay, so let's get some chocolate, some raspberry. Ooh. Okay, you guys got it? Ah! That is so good. Do I just bring like both containers with me? Like, this is so good. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I have so many things to talk to you guys about. Oh my freaking goodness. So I think we're gonna get a little bit spoily into the 7-year slip, so you have been warned. But I was reading this book, and when she met him in her timeline, 7 years in the present, not 7 years in the past, I was really confused. I was like, how is this gonna work? Because we're still talking to Ewan 7 years in the past. So my brain is working overtime. I'm like trying to figure this out. I still don't 100% know how this man, because his memories would be of 7 years previous, but she hasn't lived those like previous 7 years entirely of the summer. I don't know if that makes sense. And my face, my jaw was on the absolute ever-loving floor when this man went, well, it's been a lot longer for me, because he knew that she slipped 7 years. And I don't know if that's because she's about to tell him, but then that brings up the time frame situation of like, does he know what's already happened? I don't know. And then as soon as he's like, the timing's not right, then she goes and sleeps with like his 7-year previous self in the apartment. And I was just like, I'm so confused, because like you're simultaneously falling in love with the 7 years past while also crushing and trying to figure out the present day person. So I'm a little confused. Just a smidgen. The other thing I love is that Drew can't spell, because the text of her trying to spell out the word hallelujah had me like absolutely cackling, because I can't spell very well and so I was like, I feel this so hard when you're like just trying to spell a word and you just can't get it, and it's just wrong every time you send it, and even autocorrect's not helping you. I was like, this is so funny. And for Bride, I'm having a great time. Now, a lovely person on my TikTok, when I posted about that I was reading Bride, informed me that I was not correct in saying that this book was in the Omegaverse. I'm not sure if I mentioned that here as well. This book isn't Omegaverse because he's only an alpha and they only do knotting, so it's not Omegaverse. I don't really know what knotting is, and I don't want to Google it because I kind of want to figure out what it is by reading the book. Really enjoying it. This kind of like mystery subplot is super entertaining for me. The dialogue is super fun, and this man, it's one of those books where I'm seeing what's happening and I'm kind of like predicting it a little bit, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad at predicting it. Like, I think like they keep mentioning sense, and so I'm pretty sure that he is her, like that they're mates, but because she's not a werewolf, she doesn't like know necessarily like how that like feeling works potentially. But she's also over here being like, your mate's trapped in vampire land. So anyway, this is a very spoilery talk. I'm gonna go to class. I am so excited. I am actually here on campus like 20 minutes early, so I'm gonna continue listening to the audiobook but I'm having so much fun. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. We will figure it out. We are gonna do something fun for Valentine's. I'm not sure what it is, and by fun, it's probably gonna be me eating ice cream, but it'll be okay. I have to go to class, I have a 2-hour lab, and I will keep you guys in the loop of what is happening. Alrighty people, we are back and better than ever. My lab was actually only an hour today, which was quite fun because it was a lot shorter. It was only an hour instead of 2 hours. So I did enjoy that. We were looking at ferns and mosses, which I liked. I love a good fern and a moss. I'm trying to be better at identifying them, so that was pretty fun. I wanted to talk about the book a little bit more. The 7-Year Slip, because I realized I'm reading 2 books. I am having a lot of fun with this book. I actually lied to you guys earlier when I said I was only like 60-something% in. I'm actually 73%. And I'm still confused about the timeline situation. And particularly, we just hit a moment where I don't know if he knows that it was him kind of thing. It's editing Ellie. I am just going to fill you guys in a little bit on my thoughts that was up to the 73% way mark for the 7-Year Slip because my footage just decided to poof, go away. So let's get into it. I was having a great time. I was 73% of the way. Want to say hi to everybody? If you hear Lulu being a little menace, I was having a wonderful time. I was really connecting with both of the characters. I felt that both of them needed some growth, but we're both kind of working towards that. I was a little bit confused again about the timeline, but I swear I'm going to stop saying that soon because I just needed to keep reading. And I'm sure that you have read this book. You're probably screaming at me to just like keep reading. So I feel that. I think that it was really interesting to see the differences of what 7 years did to a person and how people grow and how they change. And I think that this was something that was really tackled in this book and really beautiful to see unravel. I wasn't 100% sure how I felt about when the situation was like, I don't know if he knows that it's him, because again, I was confused on the timeline and I wasn't a huge fan of her sleeping with past him when she just had a fight with present him. That's one thing that didn't really sit well with me in this book, and that was probably my main 2 gripes with this book was that one thing. And then also I wasn't sure how I felt about the aunt committing suicide, but in retrospect I really feel that it was a betrayal of it being so unknown to people in life, and it can be such a shock and gutting experience, but it's also an experience that you have to learn to grow from and have to, you know, acknowledge that it's not your fault. And so I think that that was a really interesting kind of portrayal in this book of, you know, Clementine kind of blaming herself but also overcoming her grief. So I think that I wasn't sure about it because it was kind of a sensitive topic of losing someone that you love for me personally. So I wasn't sure how I felt about it because I was being like really critical, but I overall think that it was done well. And I'm in love with this man. I think that their moments together in present day are just as precious as when they are in past day, and just watching these 2 people interact throughout time was just a really beautiful thing. So I'm gonna leave you to one of my unhinged theories for you guys to listen to that. I have a prediction that I thought that he was going to name his new restaurant Lemon, and I'm still staying true to that. I don't know what the one is that they're at right now, but it's like sterile. It's like, what's it called? Like very fancy, like Michelin star, like not actually the food that he was cooking when he was young and having this passion. And it really kind of matches the character. Like I would argue that like how his food is how he's feeling inside. Like when he was in love and cooking with his grandpa and cooking for our main character, the food was just filled with flavors and love and passion, and he was alive. And now he's gotten so focused on his goal that the food kind of like is representing his aloofness, and like he's kind of lost his way. And like I don't know, like maybe I'm looking at this way too deeply, but I just thought that that was an interesting thing. So I feel as though that the restaurant that he has just opened, he's gonna like flip on its head when he realizes that she is right, that he has lost this passion, and then it's gonna be called Lemon. I think that that's my new prediction, that the original restaurant not gonna be called Lemon because he's not that person right now, but he's gonna flip. But I'm sensing the 3rd act breakup coming soon, which is okay. I'm actually looking forward to that because I feel like it's gonna be good to see him grow, realize what's going on. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is bright and early, and by bright and early, I mean 8:30, but I just finished the 7-year slip, and I have so many thoughts, so many things to say, but I have to run to class, so I wanted to check in with you guys and just say that the ending of this book was amazing. Everything was so, like, perfectly encapsulated, and like, it really hit home, and there were just so many amazing things that happened, and so I want to get into them with you guys, but I can't right now. But I just had to tell you that, like, that ending was so good. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm here to give you my thoughts on the 7-year slip. Oh my goodness, this book was so good. I truly loved reading it. It was amazing to listen to, and it was exactly what I wanted for this week with Valentine's Day, and I ended up finishing it on Valentine's Day, which was so much fun. This book truly plays with the idea of timing and, you know, right person, wrong time, but also the idea of change and how change can be hard, and that it's not always pleasant, but it's also, like, vital and also beautiful, if that makes any sense. Like, it truly was such a joy to read. I know I wasn't 100% sure on how the aunt passed, but I think that the way it was wrapped up and kind of, not explained, but the way that it was handled, I do believe it was for kind of that shock to, like, really encapsulate how the character was absolutely thrown off by this decision that her aunt had made, and also to inevitably grow from what had happened and herself as a person. That I feel settled and I feel okay about how it was. And I did end up reading the author's note, and the author did say that, you know, she's not sure that she represented it in the best way, that she's probably made mistakes, but it was the best, not the best that she could do, but it was also through her personal experience. And I feel like I agree with that assessment that she had, that no, was it necessarily perfect? No, but did it feel real and did it resonate with people? I'm sure it did. I definitely resonated with parts of Clementine's grief and how she was able to find her aunt in all of these little things. And I think it was also a very special read for me because I did just have to give up my Nana's apartment. That kind of reading that ending, just with the apartment and the people she had in her life, like, it really felt very special, and I felt like I related to it a lot. I really loved the ending, just how everything tied together. I love how I got the majority of my answers for how the timeline worked. It was definitely one of those things you just had to keep reading, and I was asking you guys so many questions. I loved all the interconnections and how things went together, and though I was wrong, Lemon did not end up being the name of the restaurant. That probably would have been too corny, and it's kind of special that it's there still. They're inside, a little joke. I gave it 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. I want to read it again, but I'm going to withhold myself from doing that for now. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling about books. I'm going to drive home. I have a gargantuan lab report that is still haunting me, so I'm going to go do that. And I actually have started listening to Assassin's Blade, because I desperately want to read Queen of Shadows. So I won't get into that because, you know, today it's romance. It's a romance vlog. I'm gonna listen to that on my way home, I think. I am back because I realized that you guys do not want to hear me say the same thing for 6 minutes, so I'm going to say it very concisely here for you guys right now. There was no way I could cut down this footage. I was just talking in rambles, giving my update on Bride, so I'm going to say it here really fast. I truly was having an amazing time with Bride. I think that it was super fast paced, and it was so fun with the world building and the politics and the mystery and like the relationship just driving the story. I will say that the 2 things that bugged me was, the first was that our main character Misery really read between the lines and created this idea that there was another girl and that it was Gabby who was given as collateral to the vampires from the werewolves, and she was Lo's mate. However, she kind of like took random pieces and created this idea, and she just kept thinking it over and over and over again, which became a little bit frustrating. But the other thing that I didn't like about this was then it became kind of like another woman situation a little bit, where Misery was like, he has this mate, but like what I'm feeling for him is something else. So like she was kind of like navigating potentially feeling something for him, and it came off a little bit in a way that she was kind of like at this point like, I'm not sure if I care 100% if he does have someone else. So I didn't really love that aspect of like her like not cheating but like not caring that there could potentially be like someone else that is for Lo. Now obviously this isn't like a huge deal because we know that Lo's mate is not Gabby. Well, you don't know, but like you know. And so there was that aspect. And I will say the other thing that had me a little bit confused or didn't like very much was that the writing in this book was so easy to read. Like, you are going to read an Ali Hazelwood book so fast. It's so fun. It's so fast paced. Like, you're going to have a great time. But I found in this book, there were a couple instances where I was reading something and I was like, wait, hold on, like what's happening here? And I'd go back and read it and I'd still be a little bit confused. And then I would fast forward and be like, okay, now that makes sense. Which I don't think was necessarily needed to happen all the time. But it was still super fun and super easy to read. I was confused what nodding was, but fear not. I figured it out. There was a nice little joke that I put on the screen that you guys won't get, so I'm going to say it to you now. But I think that was everything. I'm having a great time. I think the mystery is fun, the paranormal aspects, the world building, like the wolf pack. Like, I was having a great time, but those were the two things that were just bugging me a little bit. I'm just finding new places to put you guys in my car, which is like very fun for me. I have finished Bride, you guys. It is February 17th and I finished it this morning. I woke up because I was so excited for something I will talk to you guys a little bit later about, but I woke up and I was so excited I couldn't sleep, and I had like 2 hours left in the book, so I was like, I'm just gonna read and read and read and read and read. I had so much fun. This book was just such good vibes, such like fun paranormal situations. I told it wasn't Omegaverse, but like there was nodding, and that was part of my confusion. I was like, I don't really know what nodding is, and then part of like the anatomy, I was like a little confused for a sec, but now I know what it is. So I had such a fun time reading it. I like read so much of it, and it was one of those books that you could just like sit down and read for a really long time, which I really enjoyed. But then there were aspects within it that I was like a bit frustrated at, and I also called Serena's twist. So, but then there were also twists that I didn't call. So like, I think I'm settled with like a 3.75 because it's like, it's almost a 4. It's like really close, but I was like a little frustrated about a few things that I don't think I can give it a 4, but I don't know. We shall see. 2 amazing things happened today. Well, 3, I guess. 1, I finished Bride. 2, I got approved for the new Abby Jimenez book on NetGalley, and I'm so excited because, as you guys know, Part of Your World is one of my favorite romance books of all time. It is so much fun, and so to get an advance reader copy of this book, I am just unbelievably excited. And then the other thing, I have it here. It's gonna be a bit hard to show you guys where you are, but I can't not. I found the original cover of A Court of Wings and Ruin, but more specifically the Indigo exclusive edition. And if you guys don't know what that means, this is what it means. It means fan art as like the dust. What are these pages called? Words are hard right now. I am so excited. So this was actually the first piece of ACOWAR fan art that I had ever seen. Oh my god. I watched it on Claire Siobhan's YouTube channel of her making the characters from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series in The Sims when I was in, I don't know, 8th grade or something. Like, I was such a baby. And then it wasn't until like years later that I actually read the series. And oh my god, okay. And when I read the series, the first kind of fan art that I found on Pinterest was this style of fan art. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. You're in a very weird spot for me to be doing this right now, but I just can't. Like, this Reese and Fayer fan art is one of my absolute favorites, and this whole style by this artist is my favorite style of fan art. Like, this Reese and this Forever the character is like how I picture them pretty much. Maybe not as in cast at this point, but like at the beginning it was like this Amarin, this Moore, this Reese, and like this exact moment is like saved like 17 million times on my Pinterest board that I have for my ACOWAR fan art. I can't stop looking at just all of the fan art. And like, of course this book is old, so it's not 100% perfect. Like, there are things, but it's in amazing condition if you think about how old it is. The pages aren't too super yellowed. The like significance that the fan art in this book holds for me is absolutely insane. And I have actually just found a copy of the original cover of A Court of Mist and Fury, so that is also coming soon. And I've kind of justified it by that I didn't do anything for Valentine's. This is my Valentine's present to myself, you know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, I said I wanted to go book shopping. I didn't go book shopping. Well, now I've gone book shopping. So that should be coming soon. But I just, the significance and everything, it's just immensely special to me. I don't even have words, guys. I'm just so incredibly happy. But I am gonna go finish my lab report. I'm gonna go finish my lab report because that stupid thing is still haunting me. But I will show you guys some more clips of this. Welcome to the end of the vlog, my beautiful people. I am going to give you my final thoughts on each book, really go through everything, because this vlog was a little bit of a mess. I mean, I had so much fun, but like so much of like me talking was just so like redundant and rambly, and I never actually got to like the actual point sometimes. So I'm just going to talk to you guys about everything about these books. I'm going to start with the 7-Year Slip. This book I ended up giving 4 stars, and let's talk about it. So the first thing I wanted to say was I wasn't sure how I liked the aunt's suicide. Like, I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but in the end, I think that it was done well. And I think that I was just going into this book thinking that it was going to be just super fluffy, and there were heavier topics that were discussed. I absolutely love Ewan so much, and I remember talking to you guys about being like, I'm so lost with the timing, and I genuinely just needed to keep reading because like the timing gets completely explained, like it does, and like you as the reader aren't supposed to know what's happening until the end, and the ending was like one of the best endings. I just feel like both of the characters moved to be together. Like, I feel as though there wasn't just one character that needed to like change or adjust or grow, like both of them did, so I really enjoyed that aspect. This man truly was written by a woman. Like, oh my goodness, when he gives her sunflowers, when they slow dance in the kitchen, like, oh my goodness. There were so many parts that I loved, the friendships and the relationship and the time hopping, and then also the conversations of grief. Like, I really related to some of the things that Clementine was saying, so I was like, yeah, no, the ending of that book really hit, and I had a really good time throughout. 4, which is still a good rating, but I just can't justify the 5 because there were some things I was like constantly trying to figure out. Now we're gonna talk about Bride. We're talking about Bride now. Bride was an absolute hoot. I genuinely do not understand how readable this book was. Like, did I have trouble sometimes with certain sentences and how things were sometimes said and getting lost in conversation? A little bit, yes. But was it just so fun to read, and just a fast story filled with like political intrigue and mystery and also world building, which you don't see a lot in romance? Yes. And I had so much fun with it. I remember talking to you guys being like, I'm a bit confused about some of the anatomy, and I literally just needed again to keep reading, and I figured out the anatomy because I never read anything in the situation that was paranormal vampire werewolf with like werewolf potential anatomy situations. But we've done it, we figured it out. I had a blast with this book. I give this book a 3.75 because I had so much fun. I really enjoyed it, but just with some of the readability, some with Misery's like inner dialogue, but I still loved the political intrigue, loved like the little mystery, loved how compulsively readable it was, and I just had like a lot of fun. That is everything, I think, so I'm gonna leave you guys here. I don't know what the next video is gonna be, probably February wrap up, and I'm so excited to just chat with you guys again. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everybody.